I'm looking too, they might have copied me, I just wanna find it.
And got here, and I referred on two, already much right here.
It's amazing how much stuff you accumulate just living.
I've got English background, English journaling background, so I'm books and writing and stuff.
I started as an aerospace engineer.
Yeah, art and sculpture.
I mean, all the artists, like, you know, when you deal with all that stuff, when you move down, it's sort of, it's there.
It's just been more possibilities.
There's a bunch of cats.
Cats are gone. Cats are gone.
Are they in Illinois now?
Yeah, they went up right after New Year.
You just take on the carriers.
Also update.
It's a lot of cats.
Loaded in the back, the pilot with crates. They were quiet house. They didn't make a beat. So we just did it straight.
I said, yes.
Yeah, so I've got months of slog.
It's not happening as fast as you thought it was.
So the one I have is, I have the
Brakes, current 20%.
awesome.
Just got a nice little warning light for routine maintenance. It says like,
I'm afraid.
30,000 miles.
Okay.
Perfect. This vehicle is buried inside, so you can have some.
Yeah. It's a lot different.
We have to take it apart.
Yeah.
Parts
But there's some things you can just not do, and you just don't probably find some.
Tiny little stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like one of those things. It's like time don't go driving down the road. They're good.
So the Ferrari's already in Illinois?
You didn't tell me about the Ferrari.
I was thinking about my old Ford Pinto Mustang, and I used to have, had one of those for about a year, and it had some issues when I bought it for $300. I said, I can say I can officially say I own a Mustang.
I had a Sunday night 10 years ago. Wasn't that good car? Sunday fleet.
Sometimes they're very well made.
Okay, I got the banner. No slide deck, just the banner.
No slide deck.
Okay, just on the West Carolina. Yeah, I still haven't done it. It's literally last Monday.
It's not like
It's Carrie. It's
have
a
that
good time. I love Carrie.
I was there yesterday.
Oh, were you? Okay.
trailer. If I think trailers are it's about $300 cash now. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Oh, you went to college.
Such a long trip.
I haven't been in a while, so I used to go a lot.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, I don't know. You intend to do all the extra stuff, all the other stuff, still like co-location, weird parties. Yeah, and up to meet yourself.
It's like that weird shape object piece of art or something. I'm at 5 records. This is awesome. You turn into this.
Yes,
But it's a weird piece. I get the money.
I'm a visual person, but it's the only one that can see all that stuff.
All right, everybody. Good morning. We're gonna rock and roll. Looks like we've got spring break syndrome happening here today. A very intimate crowd, so that's okay. We like small crowds. We get more attention from our presenter and vice versa. If you could, for a second, please scan the QR code. This is how we take our weekly attendance, and we just want to let them know that we are alive and thriving. If this is your first time with us, please also scan the QR code so that we can stay connected to you. So I'll give everybody a second to do that, and then I'll go into my housekeeping, and then we will proceed with the main event. All right, everybody good? And here we go. Okay, welcome to 1 Million Cups. The mission of 1 Million Cups is to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for all types of new, seasoned, and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. We have a few key pillars. First, we give presentations, not pitches. We make authentic connections. We're not just here to network. And we're radically and intentionally inclusive. But most importantly, we are run for the community, by the community. What I mean by that are we have these different businesses and business owners that bring this to you weekly. So we are grateful to the Mix for housing us. We appreciate the Waffle House for their free coffee. And we also appreciate the local business owners right down here that bring our presenters, coach the presenters, handle the marketing, the videography, the email reminders, and all of the behind the scenes that happens to bring this to you weekly. It's a pure volunteer project. We don't get anything other than a lousy t-shirt, which none of us are even wearing. Oh, there we go. Ron's got one on. Model that for me. Woo! I'm telling you. Hot stuff right there. Our local program, we've been here for over 10 years, and we are held weekly on Wednesday mornings. We have had over 500 entrepreneurial presentations, and we do offer educational topics like finance, future frame, networking, and provide you with local resources. We have one presenter a week with about a 5 to 6 minute presentation, and we follow that with Q&A from the community. We also bring back Made It sessions with local entrepreneurs who have made a significant amount of money, and they come back and share their stories with us. Again, we're always free, always open to the public, and we do provide you with some free caffeine. We are asking for presenters. If you're interested in presenting your entrepreneurial journey, you may apply at that link right there, or you can come and see me, and it looks like Ron and Bob and Tom. We're the, and we got a couple organizers in here today. But we would love to hear your story. Again, it is not a sales pitch. It's not an investor pitch. The goal is to have people understand what you do and some of the challenges you've had in building your business. So reach out. I'm filling the April and May pipeline right now. We have two Facebook pages. One is our main one, which is the 1 Million Cups page, and this is our little local one, 1 Million Cups Columbia. So if you're not already on this one, go ahead and jump in on that with the QR code. This is where we like to have a lot of our local engagement. Maybe you're looking for a resource, you want to share a resource, you have something you want to tell the local community. It's kind of like our little family kitchen table where we like to have our little intimate discussions here. Yes. Yeah, kitchen table. Yeah, the people, I still use mine. I don't know how many people still use theirs. Upcoming presenters. So April 8th, we have Wally Steinhauser. He's coming in to give us, Tom, a Made It session? What do we got, Wally?
Well, yes, it's a Made It session, but it's also about the transformation and scaling of a long-time family-owned business into the 21st century.
Okay, so that should be a hot one next week, folks. Come back for that one. I have the 15th open. If you have any interest in presenting, we would love to put you in that slot. On the 22nd, Austin Doolittle is coming to talk about his journey with Poly Energy, and on the 29th, we are also open. So please let me know if you would like to present in April. Take a moment, just look at your phones, make sure they're on silent, vibrate, or just shut the damn things off. It's just 60 minutes, we can hang. Thank you, out of courtesy to our presenter and our community here. And then, without further ado, I would like to welcome Nick Collins. He is a public speaker, author, mental health professional, and adventurer with passion for helping others live authentically, live with authenticity, confidence, confidence and alignment. He holds a master's in counseling and rehabilitation and is a Maxwell Leadership Certified speaker, coach, and facilitator. Nick lives in an adventurer mindset, as evidenced by being the creator and co-host of the Constant Quest podcast and curator of The Advance, a men's gathering in the mountains of North Georgia, focusing on community, connection, and growth. And if you could please help me welcome Mr. Nick Collins.
Well, thank y'all. I feel like I'm so far away from everybody way up here in the front, but that's all right. We'll get her done. So I'm happy to be here. I'm glad that y'all are all here too. So like she said, I'm Nick Collins, public speaker, published author, personal growth coach, mental health counselor. As of last weekend, race director. My girlfriend Nikki and I just put on our first race and wellness event in North Georgia, so that was pretty cool. Also an ultramarathon runner, novice guitar player, several other things. There's a lot of things that make up me as who I am, just like everybody else in this room. There's a lot of things that make up you, who you are. You're not just one thing. And I think that's important to talk about, that a lot of different pieces and parts of us inform our identity and who we are. I don't want anybody to put me in a box, and so I don't want to put anybody else in a box either. So I think it's important to talk about that. So my professional career, I was in industrial sales for nearly 20 years, for 18 and a half years. And throughout that time, I just felt eventually like it was kind of taking my soul from me. And I don't want to blame the company or the people. I work with phenomenal people for a great company. But what I allowed it to do was kind of take my soul. It wasn't what I cared about, was passionate about, was interested in. Probably wasn't even what I was really good at in that setting. And that experience, along with other things in my life, kind of, the majority of my life, I struggled really bad with mental health challenges, severe depression, suicidal intent and ideation. And really it was a result of feeling like I had to wear a mask in every single domain of my life. I felt like I had to show up as somebody else everywhere that I was, whether it was at home or at work or with friends or anything. And so I struggled really bad with that. And so that led to eventually a 10-year bout of therapy, going to see a counselor. I started going to see my therapist, Kim, every Tuesday at 11 o'clock for what wound up being over 10 years. And really to just understand myself better. I thought I was going because of a failed relationship. It turns out it was way more than that over the course of that time. But I started to deconstruct all of the conditioning and undesirable behaviors that had plagued me throughout my entire life, childhood into adulthood. And I started, I tore it all the way down to the foundation, and piece by piece, I kind of just bit by bit built the person that I am today. The person that I've always been, but not the person that I was showing up as and comfortable with myself. And so that really started to change, the trajectory of my life. And also probably worth mentioning, I hadn't had a sip of alcohol since April 13th, 2019. So, I appreciate that. So in less than 2 weeks, I guess, it'll be 7 years since I took a sip of alcohol. And that feels significant to mention because that also has really helped shape the trajectory of my life, or at least steepen the curve of progression, I would say, that I've shown since that time. And so that's really kind of who I am. And so although I was starting to grow personally and mentally and those things, I felt like professionally when I was in the corporate world that I felt like I just woke up one day and I was 40 years old and I never made a single decision for myself to do what I wanted to do. I progressed a lot, I got raises, I got promotions, that was great, but it was kind of just like this line that I was supposed to go down. And I didn't feel like I did anything for myself, so I stepped away from my well-paying, lucrative corporate career, and I went to get a master's in counseling and rehabilitation at the University of South Carolina School of Medicine. And so our specialty is to serve people with disabilities and other underserved and vulnerable populations of people. And so that sort of helped me turn the ship around and start doing what I'm doing today, live more in alignment and authenticity. So what do I do now? My business is Nick Collins Authentic, and so I do public speaking, I do keynote speeches, I also speak to businesses about mental health in the workplace, talking about recognizing every individual as a person and their authentic self, what they bring to the table with their own unique skill set and traits. I also offer behavioral and psychological assessment for companies. I'm certified, as I said in the bio, through Maxwell Leadership in facilitating the DISC assessment. And so help companies work with communication amongst themselves, how to communicate better with internally and with their customers. I also am a published author of this book, Advance, that just came out in November of 25. And I'm working on building some workshops, some 10-week and one-day workshops for companies based on the book, Advance. And it's really just about living in alignment and living as your true authentic self, living the purpose of the person that you are, not what they or whoever else told you that you should be, and how we can do that confidently and courageously. And I also do practice mental health therapy. I work mostly right now in virtual group therapy with what they call high acuity populations, so people that have been inpatient mental health or substance use or suicide. And we also work with some people that are in rural areas that don't have access to good mental health, and so we do that virtually for them. So it's an intensive outpatient program that I work with. And then, like the thing said, we have a couple of men's retreats in the mountains of North Georgia that we do a couple times a year, all in the same kind of realm of being able to show up as yourself and be vulnerable and be open and create spaces where people can be themselves. And so that's a little bit about what I do currently. And then why do I do it? I do it, I guess, really to serve people. I tried doing it for the money for a while, and money's cool, but that didn't really work for me. Money's a factor, not the factor for me. And so why I do it is to serve and to make an impact and move the needle and try to make the world a little bit better than I found it. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Perfect. Thank you, Nick. All right, I'm going to open up the room, so off we go. Here we go. One right in the back, Nick.
Yes.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate the talk. What's your revenue model? I mean, do you take, is it like a monthly subscription, or do you take like a one-time fee for the events you hold?
Yeah, so the public speaking mostly is event by event. So, I mean, if it's a keynote speech, then those are one-off type events. And for companies, the same right now is typically go in and do a behavioral assessment one time or a lunch and learn one time. So that's why I'm working on, I don't know if I mentioned this, but working on creating workshops based on my book so that I can have something to offer over a period of time. I don't really do much of that yet. This is still kind of in its infancy. I just started my business in August. So that's what it looks like right now. And then there's several different revenue streams. So I practice the therapy, that's an income stream. I do the men's retreats, that's an income stream. I sell books, obviously, that's a little bit of a revenue generator as well. So that's the model, more or less, right now.
Can I get that book?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll see you after that.
Yeah.
All right, next.
What level of corporate pays attention to what you're offering? Is it the HR department? Is it a CEO? I mean, is it who contacts you and says, we need you in my business?
That's a great question. So it can be leadership, executive level, but what I've found is that there's a big budget in HR for mental health and wellness. So the category that used to be really popular and still is DEI, and so what would fit in that same type of expenditure for a company, initiatives that are pushed through companies, and so forth. And
So you're seeing a DEI initiative remaining in place. You know, they might be calling it something else.
I do, yeah, it's not, I mean, it was the thing to talk about for a while, and it was on everybody's billboard. I don't know that everyone followed through with that, but it was on people's billboard. So it's still something we obviously talk about and should talk about. But yeah, it pulls from a similar pot. I think what I can offer on the mental health side, suicide risk and prevention, that type of thing.
Well, businesses are taking this whole mental health in the workplace. They're putting money behind it, so they're taking it seriously.
Yeah, the numbers in suicide in pretty much every industry is on a pretty serious incline, especially in male-dominated fields like the one I left, construction, engineering, those type, a lot of blue-collar fields as well. So yes, there's certainly a growing space. There's a space currently, and it's growing for that. Yeah,
Who would you? Hi, Nick. Great
Hey.
job.
Hey, Fran.
Who would you say then? Because you mentioned, engineering, construction, men. Who would you say is your ideal? Your ideal client, and how do you know if it's the right fit?
That's a good question. I'd say one of my biggest challenges, I want to do everything for everybody. And so that's something that has been something that I worked through since I've started. So I appreciate the question, but I would say companies that, any company can probably improve their communication. So as far as the speaking and DISC assessments and behavior assessments and stuff like that, yeah, I would say corporate type clients like the world I came from. The manufacturing, construction, and it's not limited to those. I mean, schools, hospital systems, all of them spend money on mental health, suicide prevention, wellness, and so it's all kind of in the same realm from a budgeting standpoint from those businesses. So yeah, still narrowing in on that. I know the idea of you have to serve one specific area in person and then grow from there. I kind of start the other way around, and so that's something I would say I struggle with, that I'm working towards, because it's like, yeah, I want to do it all for everybody, and that becomes a challenge sometimes. Yeah.
Well, Miss Judy first mom.
She had a question, but great job and congratulations on your supply. I think that's really, really big
Well,
and
thank
really helpful. But what I want to know is, how do you reach out to this particular client that you're looking for? Do you market it to it? How does that?
Yeah, so right now, marketing is pretty much social media and word of mouth driven. I mean, locally, I'm very fortunate to have a pretty large network of people that's helped me sustain business thus far and grow business. So word of mouth has been a big part of it, of course. And then social media, I'm most active on Instagram. I'm trying to get onto LinkedIn more. I don't really love LinkedIn, just from a personal preference standpoint, but I think that the people that I'm speaking to spend more time on LinkedIn. And so in my marketing strategy, I guess you could call it, it's also difficult because I'm essentially one person and I'm marketing public speaking, mental health in the workplace, keynote speeches, coaching programs, men's retreats, my book. We just put on this race, which is kind of a different business, but also something that I personally push out there and market. So it's a lot of different pieces right now, so that presents a challenge just from a time and resource standpoint, honestly, and then a clarity of offer standpoint to the consumer.
Do you offer mental health assessments? I have a friend that's a therapist, but she needs somebody to actually do the assessments.
I don't right now. I have studied assessments a little bit, but I don't have, other than the DISC assessment, I don't have any other certifications at this time.
And then Rob.
Like the people you work with, are they officially diagnosed by physicians or psychiatrists if they have these problems?
Great question. Only in the bucket that was the virtual mental health, where I work with high acuity clients, only there, because that takes a licensure. And so everything else that I mentioned in here is not me acting as a therapist. And so I have to be very clear about that up front, because if I'm working under a licensure, that's a whole different ethical and legal realm than talking about mental health, presenting on mental health, helping people understand risk factors. I can do all of that without a licensure and not under my licensure, I guess I'll say. And so it's a great question because it's really important. I could say, I obviously say my credentials. I'm a CRC, I'm an LPCA, all those things. But I'm not seeing you as a one-on-one client if I'm coming to your business and speaking. Yeah.
Thank you.
Robin?
Well, and my question is similar, and thank you for your authenticity. I think people are drawn to people that share their story. And my dad got sober in Alcoholics Anonymous. He's got like 30 years or something crazy like that. But I would think after you share, you might have people come up to you that are struggling with alcohol. Would you refer them to AA, or what, how would you, if you can't personally help them because they're really struggling with an alcohol addiction or something like that, where would you refer them to?
Well, I can. I'm working on licensure, and so I can offer a licensure service one-on-one afterwards. The licensure isn't completed yet. That's a paperwork process with the state that's happening right now. So once I do have my licensure, I can see clients one-on-one, or I'll refer them to somebody else, or AA, or whatever. It's a fine line in the mental health world. It's very important when you have a licensure that you're clear on what you're offering. So some people do growth coaching or life coaching, and then counseling, and those are two very separate things. One is regulated and licensed, one is not. So with some people, depending on what their need is, I can offer them coaching, and that is more like, this is where I am, this is where I want to get to, but I'm having trouble getting there. That's coaching all day long. I can help you work through that, get unstuck. Counseling may be, I had this traumatic event when I was 10 years old, or I was abused by a parent, or et cetera, et cetera. That would be a different category that would certainly fall under the licensure. And
So to that point, how do you differentiate that? So when you're talking to clients, how do you come to terms with that? And then also, wouldn't that impact the way that they pay? Because if you're operating under therapy licensure, perhaps it's insurance that they're going under compared to coaching, which would be private pay, unless you want private pay for both. So how do you unpack that?
yeah, it's a great question. I have to ask a lot of questions. I mean, in the intake, I have to get very specific with people, honestly. Usually I can tell pretty quickly what path people are on. There's some crossover, but it's pretty thin. Typically in one conversation, I can discern where clients want and need mental health therapy versus coaching. And then in some of it, if they are in crossover, then it's really up to them. How do you want to pay? What do you actually want to get out of it? Licensure has more restrictions. I have to be in South Carolina. There are certain, the client has to be in South Carolina. Is the law. I don't have to be. I can be wherever and do it virtually, but they have to physically be in the state. So there's different rules around the licensure part, but there are some situations where that is certainly the route that needs to be taken. So yeah, it's kind of up to my own discernment. And as a therapist, I'm probably more adamant about getting it right, just because of the legal and ethical implications on the licensure side. Did that answer your question?
Oh, there we go. Go ahead.
What are your thoughts about the holistic and the pharmaceutical approach on things? And I know it's probably an individual basis as to how you speculate on that. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, when I'm talking about holistic as well, I understand that with mental things and things like that, there's got to be exercise, there's got to be other things in it. What are your thoughts? And one of the things that I noticed that you said was like your retreat and everything, your run and things like that.
Yeah, holistic versus medical.
Correct.
Kind of the dichotomy of the two. I mean, I'm certainly not a medical professional, so I'll say that first, but I think ultimately my goal is to serve the best interest of the client. So from a mental health perspective, sometimes diagnosis and medication is the route. I wholeheartedly believe that. Many times it's not. So it kind of depends on the situation. I'll work through that with the client and kind of determine that with them, because they're the one making the decisions. I mean, kind of the whole goal in therapy, in my opinion, is to empower people and have them realize that they have answers within themselves anyway, almost all of the time. There are some extreme mental health diagnoses where that might not be the case, but for the most time, people have the answers within them. So it's a collaborative effort between me and the client, no matter what the case is, on what's the best form of treatment going forward. So in general, my opinion, maybe, which is more of what you were asking, is do I think that there's more things that we could do in our daily habits and routines that set us up for better mental health and physical, medical health in the future? Absolutely, 1,000%. I think we should get outside more. I think we should drink water. I think we should exercise. I think we should interact with people, have conversation, build community, all of those type of things, show up as ourselves. I mean, I think those things influence mental health and our physical and medical well-being as well, dramatically. Yeah, that's my personal take. And I've seen it. I mean, I live it.
Did you partner with NAMI?
I don't. I mean, I can refer people to NAMI. I'm familiar with them and all that, but it's not necessarily a working partnership. Yeah.
Who else? Anybody else have any questions for Nick? Yes, Ron.
Have you considered using podcasts as part of your brand, part of your tool, your workshop?
I do. I have a podcast called the Constant Quest Podcast, and we talk about a lot of this stuff on there. My business partner and I my podcast host, co-host, partner now. He's not a partner in all these other businesses. But yeah, we have guests on there and talk about all sorts of things around mental health, personal growth, authenticity, alignment, well-being, all of that. And that does help. It helps generate marketing content, really, probably more than anything. I bet more people watch my 1 minute reel clips from the podcast than maybe actually listen to all the full episodes. It kind of comes and goes, but that's been my experience. We've been doing it for just over 3 years now, the podcast. So, yeah.
I have two questions. One, are you building towards a practice that you're running alone, or are you building towards a bigger vision?
That's a good question. So, on the counseling side, I will have my own practice. Eventually, that's Nick Collins Counseling. I have to hold that separate. That's why I keep pointing way over here, because that's a completely different ballgame than all of the other stuff that I was talking about. The Nick Collins Authentic, speaking, coaching, all of that. Right now, I don't have a huge interest in building a big machine. I am in the process of making my first hire, which is great. But right now, the product is me, essentially, and the content that I've created, the curriculum that I've created.
And so with that being said, so you've got your coaching, you've got your counseling, you've got your training. And I know you're not, what did you call it? You're not money driven? Okay. But is this what you're doing full time?
Yes.
Okay, so we
Yeah, money matters.
money, yeah,
Yeah,
right,
money
okay,
matters.
so I'm wondering.
It's a thing, not the thing.
Exactly,
That's how I say,
okay,
yeah.
but it matters. And so when you're thinking about how to structure your business, I'm curious as to what is your big ticket item? Like, what is the one, maybe is the umbrella item, and maybe the coaching and the counseling can come up under that? Just wondering, like, what is your driver that would
Yeah.
be great?
Great question. It's one of my biggest challenges because, again, I want to do all of it all the time. I have severe ADHD, and so wherever my energy goes, that's where I'm led. And so it depends on the day or week, which is a challenge. That hire is going to help that a whole lot because it's going to create some structure. There's a general path. I'll just say this real quick with people with severe ADHD. They have a really hard time in structured environments and they can't thrive because they feel like they're in a box. And so they leave that and go into business for themselves. And it's good because then they get to follow their energy, but then they don't have any structure. And they need the structure. And so that's what I'm hiring right now is to help build the structure so that I can address those things. But to answer your question more directly, Vinci, public speaking is my number one priority. But the nature of that business is cyclical and it, you may get 4 or 5 gigs in a month, you may not get a gig for a couple months. So the rest of the stuff has to supplement that.
To develop your strategy around that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got time for a couple more. Anybody else have any burning questions? Oh, Bob's on fire today. Go, Mr.
One more, Nick, I'm sorry. Do you have any videos online, like YouTube or something? I can see some of your speaking gigs.
I do have some very short clips on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, fewer but getting there. Some clips of me speaking at different engagements, yes. I don't have any full speeches on YouTube or anything like that right now. I could look at getting that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, we have time. We got time.
Like I said, I love your authenticity and sharing your story. Do you ever have people come up to you afterwards and give you any kind of negative feedback about being so open, authentic?
I see discomfort in other people, I think, sometimes because it's a lot to be open and vulnerable, and it's been a progression for me. Yeah, in the workplace, I've seen it a little bit. I've run into people that say, I was taught and trained to leave all my ish at home and come to work and do work. I hear that quite a bit. And so my message is to, tap into the individual, let them emote, ask them what's going on, if they're all right. I preach a lot of those things, and so I have gotten resistance at some companies from that. Just a discomfort, like a friction, almost like, okay, but how do I do that? Because I was taught this other way to just bottle it up. And then I'm like, that's the problem. We bottled it up our whole life until we explode.
Because I lead a women's group, and I know that sometimes, like in groups, people will stay at this level, but if one person breaks the ice and shares something personal, then all of a sudden, everyone's sharing something personal. So it just takes one person to break that ice and share something personal.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's most of my experience is that I lead. I don't mind taking the lead on that. I typically cry. I can't believe I didn't cry today. I cry almost every time I talk. So as a man, that was difficult my whole life, but I have seen the effect of that on other people for them to say, okay, there's my permission slip. I can actually
Yes,
be myself.
permission. Yeah, you're giving the rest of us permission to be
Yeah.
real and authentic. Yes.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Do you offer any coaching or mentorship for younger boys?
I don't have any youth coaching clients right now. That's not really the population that I'm targeting, I'll say. I do think that there's a need for late adolescent. I mean, for me, probably specifically males, but I could go either way. The gender's not that important to me, but I do think that there's a lot going on in their life, a lot of transition and change. And navigating that's hard for parents too. So if they had a different voice, I think that would be helpful. But it's not necessarily something that I'm currently doing.
Anybody else?
And can I say one more thing real quick? So I mean, I've touched on this a little bit, but I just want to share maybe my biggest challenge since I'm in a group of people that are entrepreneurs and work through things like this as a single person business. I mean, I'm the only person that's on the title. Nikki is a big part of my business. She helps me with everything that I do and working on hiring somebody else. But my biggest challenge is time allocation to, I want to go do the thing. Like I said, I'll follow my energy. I want to speak. I want to coach. I want to do the practice. That's where I thrive, and I know that about myself. So the marketing becomes a drag. The preparation and structure becomes a drag. It takes me 10 times as long to do it because I have no energy for it. So figuring out how to market a little bit more efficiently and effectively has been a really big challenge for me. If I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm speaking soon, then I'll put together some post for speaking, and that's what's on my brain. But the consistency has been difficult for me. So I just want to throw that out there if anybody has any great solution.
I'm glad you said that because I have been diagnosed. I feel like I have ADHD too. And I've been going through this thing about the last couple of weeks when I've been unmotivated and lazy, don't want to get up. And so I talked to my son, he's like 35 years old. He said, Mom, I think you something for burnout. So I'm going to warn you that it is a real thing and real issue too. So I'm like, okay, email Nikki and somebody who's looking hard.
She might be getting burned out too. The other side of it. I got to manage that part too.
The only thing I can say, Nick, is because I struggle from this as well, and I tend to want to, I do 1,000 things and not one of them, well, one well, but two well, but the rest are just a hot mess. Time blocking. And then if you time block it in smaller chunks, it helps. So just know if you have speaking engagements coming up, time block 1 hour a week to make you do those posts in advance. You know, if you know where you're going to be speaking, so it's done. And then another hour, you just have to block the time. And then when you're at that time, commit to that and do it in 30-minute chunks. You know, I can't spend 2 hours on one task. So if it's like, okay, it's Monday, it's 8:30, this is my half hour to do whatever it is you need done, do that. And then I had somebody coach me once, and they took just a simple task of like taking a piece of paper, folding it up, and then just making little boxes, and they would brain dump. So dump your brain on and I'm Gen X, so I still use pen and paper, but I would write down everything in my brain and dump it, and then time block based on those things that I had to dump. And that's kind of helped me hone in on and not feeling so frazzled.
And you do that like on a Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, whenever you have
or
time.
something?
Yeah, so for me, it's usually Monday mornings are pretty quiet in my office. Nobody's bothered me yet, and I'll brain dump, and then all the things that are in my head, and I'm like, okay, got to do all those things, and then I time block. Okay, I'll address like my kids' doctor's appointments Tuesday at 9 a.m. and then just block it for the week. And then do even just 30 minutes of time, just so you're not, stuck in a task for 2 hours and hating it.
Right, yeah, that.
Can I piggyback on what she said? You had no problem time blocking this, right? You made sure you were here, you were prepared, did a great job. I came in at the end, and I apologize for that. Listen, I watch comedy sometimes, and there was a comedian who always takes questions from the audience, and one person asked a question, how do you get inspiration for your jokes? And he sits there for a second and he says, inspiration is for amateurs. I carry around a notebook with me all the time. When I see something, I write it down. When I see something, I write it down, and I'm always doing that. If I wait till I'm inspired, I'll never have a gig. I have to be able to perform all the time. And so,
it seems to me, and I'm not an authority on this, but by saying I have ADHD, so I just have to follow my energy, might be the wrong thing. You might say, okay, I need to block, and you might just limit, say, these 2 hours each day I'm blocking where I have to be structured, then I can follow my energy. And if that's your reward, by following these 2 hours, I reward myself with following my own energy, then you can keep some consistency to your business and following the goals that you've set. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
And just to add on to that as well, one thing, I do exactly what's your name? Tara. Tara?
Yes.
I do exactly what Tara does. What also helps me is color coding it. I have to I'm picking up my son at 4:15, that is in purple. Any doctor's appointments, anything that's personal is in purple. Anything client related is in green, right? Anything that I need to prep for something, I need to read something, I need to do all those things, that's in blue. And so that might be able to help you as well. And then also things that you really, really hate doing, right, that you can't stand doing, you might be able to automate. A system that you have may be able to automate, like you have to do social media, so do I, right? It's one of those things. And so I don't like doing it. It's the last thing I want to do. So I have a system, go high level, which you have access to, and you spend one day, a block of 2 hours or whatever, creating all your posts for the entire month's reels, whatever you have, stick them in there, you don't have to worry about that until next month. And so that's just a block of time and a system. And there may be some other systems as you're doing the brain dump that may be out there that can help you automate some of those things as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And I too hate social media, so I hire somebody once a month. We meet for 1 hour, pay her to do all of the content, and it's happening.
Yeah, that's helpful because I love it, but it's just a huge time. So I enjoy doing it, but I have to get it perfect because it's mine. It takes me 10 times as long as it would take somebody to just do it.
Yeah, you just give them the content and they just.
Yeah.
This is great. Al, could you ask our final question?
With all the amazing things that you do, what can 1 million cups do for you?
What can 1 million cups do for me? Well, you can follow me on social media and engage on social media. Like I said, I'm most active on Instagram at Nick_Collins_authentic. I'm also on Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. So I would say that's the biggest thing is engage. And if you know any businesses, you or your company or anything like that, that could benefit from communicating better, understanding more about mental health in the workplace, then I would love to come and help you with that.
Thank you. All right. We still have the room if you want to chat or hang out. And otherwise, oh yes, announcement.
It's my first time, so I thought we were just asking questions. Can we offer feedback?
Yeah, if you have
something.
You want to publicly, or because Nick will be here.
I can talk to Nick.
Okay.
Okay. Asking questions, or if we were able to, give our ideas and feedback too. So, I'll talk to him.
Okay, great. Yeah, 10 o'clock is when we shut it down. But anybody, if you're welcome to go, you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to come up front and have this moment as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm familiar. Yeah, I have a friend he's told me about
Right here? We're good at
I'm gonna go ahead and go downstairs because it's the things that, but you know the meeting room we're talking about on the side, right? If you just start walking to the back, you can't miss it. You build up the whole space. Can I give you a card?
She needs this help, or she has, she wants to put it on the house as a conduit.
All the content, all the stuff, we just put on there, put it all together, close the business.
Is there a company doing that?
But I have to email you.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Finance.
I didn't, and I missed the front, introduction.
And basically,
Good to see you.
What's your name?
Ralph Hall. And yours again?
Ron.
Man, I have ADHD like you was talking. I was like, oh man, if you want me to do, you said that, I was like, hey,
Yeah.
wide open and nowhere to
That's always been the thing, and then they come up with, back in the day, even these medications supposed to deal with ADHD. See, back in the day when I was young, we got the help, and that's kind
very much so. You got in trouble in school when you came home, man. You didn't worry about the principal at the time until you worried about what the was going to put the
We got to live there.
Bounce around, these special forces bring away, man. Did you get that, son? Meth as well.
Now they go to time that's what taking time on what
My son's 24 years old. Had him, she had him, we had him before I was 42. I raised him, but not as rough as my dad raised me. You wanted something? All I owe you, whatever it is. I was on your back. Anything else? If that meant he wanted to do something, I'll be all right. I made him work
somehow society I don't know what you call it.
coddling.
Yeah, that's what.
You know, a lot of it comes from single parent households.
Yeah, when they're trying to compensate.
There's like
says about that kind of stuff.
it's
Mom says the coddling part. Son, more special. Nobody owes you anything.
We're now like that.
Mommy tells you what she wants. It's a myth. There is no tooth fairy.
As soon as you guys start paying your own bills and having a roof over your head, you'll find that out.
Yeah. I used to look at my dad puzzle, but I was like,
every Thursday, that's the
interesting and eye-opening.
I don't have a card. I have one of his cards.
So do you work in this building?
No, I'm with Smelly.
Oh, okay.
New business development, headhunters, followers. I've been doing that for about 30 years. I've been with Smelly since January 5th. I retired 3 years ago. Not by my choice. COVID, I used to.
Oh, wow.
Dad did it right there, so I could get some time. I thought, well, what if something else? So hold on, a year and 2 months later. COVID, year and 2 months later, COVID,
Yes, I'm a witness.
once my broken body hit her up, it's like, if I want to go, it's not going to be in my car.
No.
I'd rather be hit by a bird.
Yeah. Exactly. That's how I feel. I want to push this until it couldn't put it there anymore.
It's like my dad used to say to each other all the time as we got older. Me and my dad, our personalities are so really different. We clash. But we have this understanding. We call each other up. You knew? He said, no. I said, get your ass up. After the party, you're going to die.
I got a brother like my oldest brother. He's kind of like, you can say he's got rid of
really close. And then I forgot to say, now if I try to get on that,
we're all pretty challenged.
You know,
When was the last couple of years I was home and down with my story? 2 times I've been there. And then this one, she's on the phone. Nobody coming out the way you like to come out. And you're home and you're down.
Yeah, the invisible years are gone.
Just that tall and bulletproof. That means I stand up and go real quick. There I go.
Wow.
Super simple. Say Don.
Ron. Yeah.
One part of you. Right part.
Kevin? Yes, sir.
Pleasure meeting you. Yeah, right part.
So you say you do business development?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do you just go around creating like bigger, like scaling businesses, or?
What I do is I approach companies that may have staffing needs, and there's a bunch of us out there. It's a very competitive business. At the same time, remember this: people do business with people they like. They don't like it, they're not going to do business. It's about being persistent, getting them, call it sales, consulting. I've got a manufacturing industrial background, a hospital background, a skill background. I've got a diverse background, but then again, like he was saying, with ADHD, you get bored easy, you'll do something else. And so, in the business that I'm in, I know enough about a company to be dangerous. I deal with international, national companies, like family companies as well. Small businesses, and things they need an admin person, things like that. It's a fun business, it's different every day. I stumbled into it by accident. I was actually working in the hospital system as a vampire at Providence Hospital.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I was good. They gave me a pager, man. I was on call. They wouldn't look. Some people just wouldn't let anybody else stick with me. I was going to go in the nursing when I stumbled into what I do now.
Oh, okay, wow.
What I like about what I do is I'm helping people at the same time. At the same time, I'm nursing. I can be traveling countries, things like that. When I was young and dumb, I started making money really quick. It was like, it's persistent. What I do is not fair.
Oh, you gotta be a people person.
You gotta realize you're not dealing with a manufactured product, you're dealing with people. They can become one thing, then they go into the company. All you can do is minimize and do your due diligence on vetting that person. That's still no guarantee. It's one of the things I explain to companies that I deal with. I'm not dealing with what you manufacture out there. Where you're going to say, hey, at that time, understand there's going to be bumps. And if there is, they have a problem, they have a solution. Always have a solution. Even when you have a problem can be the biggest opportunity. I love chaos. I do.
That's why I said when I was everything in such combination. Chaos is cool.
It is. It's like a jet landing on an aircraft. When it's coming in, the aircraft carriers move.
And you got cross breeds.
Man,
you got the tail hook. You got only two. You got the catch.
Those guys over there, they're they live. People talk about war, peace, things like that. Well, guess what? If you want peace, you're going to have war, and it's good to have people like that.
I will see you guys next week.
So my dad, he everything he does pretty much classified as inspector. A special forces Green Beret, weapons and intelligence, demolition, she liked to blow things up. It was Halo, high altitude, low open, you go in at 25,000 feet,
I think you said they call it
eliminate the problem.
but it's a gas station, but it has like.
That's what he drives. And he's exactly what they call the silent